Welcome to the Dusty Jobs podcast from Imperial Systems. Industry knowledge to make your job easier and safer.
Thanks for joining us again on the Dusty Jobs podcast. Today we're live from our shop talking to our workers that work here in Imperial Systems about we're kicking off our Proud to Be an American, Made in America month. And we're going to be talking to our workers about that and what it means for them to work at an American-made, American-owned company. So first up is Justin Badger.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on again, Justin.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So what's it? How do you feel about Made in America? What does that mean to you when you hear the phrase Made in America?
When I think Made in America, it's quality and pride in production and manufacturing, and that when you buy something made in the United States, you're buying the best product that you can possibly buy. And it's important to me because I see that if I buy something made in America, I'm supporting American jobs and not sending my money overseas and something being made in a third world country. And that's
supporting your neighbor. You feel like when you buy an American product, you're supporting your neighbor, putting your food on your neighbor's plate.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. That's important.
How do you feel about working for an American-made company? We're American-made, American-owned. How does that make you feel when you come to work each day?
Well, being in sales, I love it because I get to go out in the field and talk to other manufacturing companies that are actually making in the USA and attempt and hopefully sell them our products that we get to make here in the United States, which supports jobs locally here, keeps our guys working and our ladies working, and shipping our product out in the United States and seeing it after it's been sold in the process where it's being used, our dust collectors.
Right.
Making the health and safety of our customers better in their facility. I really think it's cool, full circle.
Yeah, helping our not only support our local economy, but keeping our fellow Americans healthy and safe.
That's right.
While they're doing their jobs to help boost our economy.
Absolutely. Yep.
Well,
it's really exciting.
Thanks for giving us your input. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
We're going to be talking to a couple other guys.
All right. Have a good day.
Yep. So, today we also have joining us Nina Morocco, and she does aftermarket sales here at Imperial Systems.
I do, yes.
Nina, so the question today is, how does Made in America make you feel? How does that idea, that phrase, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great. It shows that we're busy. It shows production, manufacturing, growth. So I love American-made, and I'm happy to work for an American-made company.
Great. Thanks for sharing that. So what's in your role, how do you feel being an American-made company? Does that help you in your role here at Imperial?
Yeah, I think people take great pride in American-made products, so it only boosts our business, if you will.
Yeah. So, thanks for coming on.
Sure,
thanks for giving us a minute.
Me.
Yeah, appreciate it. Next, we have joining us Lemoine Moffatt. He's one of our welders here in the shop. So, Lemoine, what does American-made mean to you? What is that? How do you feel when you hear American-made?
I think all workers are proud that they work somewhere that everything is American-made. Using American goods to produce a product that we're proud of, and knowing that we're supporting our families and other families too.
Yeah. How do you like working for an American-made company, knowing it's American ownership and everything kind of stays here? How does that make you feel?
Well, like I say, it makes you proud to know that you're doing your part for America.
Yeah, that's it. Well, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep. Well, keep up the good work.
All right, thank you. We will.
Next is Dwayne King from Assembly. He's been working here for a while. He also is a farmer, so thank you for doing that. Thank you for helping not only work here, make American-made products, but how long have you been farming?
I've been around the farm all my life.
Yeah.
I've just barely got back into it in the last 2 or 3 years, so.
Yeah, so not only are you helping make American-made products, but helping produce food for America, huh?
That's right.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So how does that make you feel? How does it feel working for an American-made company, helping make American-made products?
No, it really makes you feel good. I mean, a lot of stuff that we get doesn't have Made in America on it. I mean, I try to buy anything that's made in America. It just makes me feel good when I do that.
Yeah.
That way you're supporting your local people and everything like that, which I'm also a member of the Lions Club, so I'm in community service and stuff like that. So just Made in America, it's the only way for me.
There you go. There you go. It makes you feel good at the end of the day.
Yes.
When you go home and know not only that you help build a good product, but help support those in your community, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for everything you do here, and we really appreciate it. And thanks for giving us a minute.
Sure thing. Thank you.
Joining us now is Xavier Ranelli, works on our press break over there. You've been with the company for how long?
2 years now.
2 years. 2 years. So when we say American-made, an American-made product, we're just trying to get a feel. What does that mean to you? What does that make you feel like? What's that bring to your mind whenever we say American-made?
When I hear American made, I honestly think of better quality, more safe, better for the environment.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that all being said, and we're an American-made company, American-owned, how do you like that? How do you like working for a company knowing that it's an American-made, American-owned company?
I love it. Every piece of steel that I bend, I have so much pride going into it, knowing that there's no chance that anything's going to mess up or break because it's faulty.
Yeah, that's it. Well, hey, thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for your time that you're here, and just thanks for coming on today.
Of course, anytime.
Yep. Joining us next is Mitch Augustine. Mitch does sales here at Imperial. Mitch, tell us what you feel like when you hear the phrase "Made in America."
Well, Donovan, two words really come to mind. The first of which stands out above all is quality. It just seems to me that anything made in America usually has a higher level of quality. Gonna just be built better, last longer than things that aren't.
So, working for an American-made, American-owned company, how do you feel about that? How does that make you feel at the end of the day?
Pride would be the first word that comes to mind. There's a real sense of pride about what we do, the industries that our product goes in. Being in sales, I'm extremely fortunate to be out in the field, seeing firsthand where our equipment goes and sizing and designing to that, and everything from cabinetry to lift trucks to you name it, recycling. I get to see a lot of the finest places in America.
Good to see other American-made products being put together and helping keeping their people clean and safe and healthy.
Absolutely. And see a lot of the foreign failures as well. We've got a chance to rip out some of that stuff and replace it with ours.
There you go. Well, hey, thanks for coming on today. We appreciate it.
You bet, Donovan. Thanks for having me.
Join us next is Ian Weller. He helps with our programming here at Imperial Systems. And Ian, when you hear the phrase "Made in America," how's that make you feel? What do you think about when you hear that?
How does that make me feel?
Yeah. What do you think about? What does that phrase make you?
I'd say it inspires a bit of confidence.
Do you, when you think of an American-made product, what does that make you think about? What's that make you?
Honestly, the first thing that comes to my mind, I'd say if I were to describe it as like an adjective,
Yeah.
be like beefy.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. So working for an American-made company at an American-owned company, when you at the end of the day, how do you feel when you go home at the end of the day working for a company like that?
I feel pretty good. I mean, feel good about it.
It's good. Well, thanks for coming on today.
Thanks.
I appreciate your time, and thanks for what you do here.
Thanks.
Joining us next is Randall Bear. He also helps with our computer department programming, helping develop software here at Imperial Systems. Randall, when I say the words "Made in America," what do you think of?
It's a complicated phrase. For the most part, it means to me basically that it's being made by your neighbors, pretty much. It's people around you, same area, and then as long as everyone's producing and consuming for each other, then everyone's good to go.
Yeah. So with that in mind, working at a company that's American-made, American-owned, how's that make you feel? Kind of being part of that system that you just described. How do you feel at the end of the day?
Other than exhausted.
Yeah, other than exhausted.
Yeah. There's definitely a sense of pride to it, for sure. We're becoming more and more, a global world for the most part. And, being able to see that what you're doing helps someone near you, that's a visible result. It is really nice.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate what you do here, and thank you for all your work, and thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Joining us today is Jeremiah One, the owner of our company. Thanks for coming on, Jeremiah.
You bet.
Today we've been talking about American Made, and we've had a lot of people from our company come on and just talk about what it means to them to not only work for an American-made company and develop that product with American-made products, but just what it means to them in general, as like when they see a product that is American-made, how that makes them feel. And
Right.
You as the owner of the company, helping drive an American business forward to help in development and strengthen our local economy and really put products out there for everybody. When you see American Made, what does that mean to you? How's that make you feel? Not only being like helping to make that part of an American reality.
Right. Well, I don't have a problem with something being made in another country, or do I have a problem with another country whatsoever? I'm totally fine with that. And I know that in some other countries, they make better products than we make here. There's just no way around that. But especially in recent days, with the COVID virus and, the shortages that we are having with our supply chain and some different issues. Today, I think it's more important than ever to make sure that we are vertically integrated, meaning we bring everything in-house that we can, make it right here in Mercer, PA, or wherever we're at, within the U.S., and that our suppliers, we went back through our supply chain and said, all right, we don't buy very much internationally at all for supplies, but there are a few items that we just didn't feel like we either had a choice to go overseas,
right,
because maybe they weren't made anywhere else, or we just didn't know because we were buying through a third party. And so we went through and we identified the ones that were made overseas. And really, they kind of identified themselves in a way that when we were going through the tougher times, and we're still in somewhat of a green phase right now, so we're not out of the virus
right.
at all. It's we're still in it.
Right.
But those items identified themselves because they weren't here. They didn't show up.
Yeah, they weren't available.
Yeah, so we had some hinges on some of our lighter products that we didn't know. We were just buying from a supply house. And we started tracking it down and finding out that they were actually made in China. And so we said, can we get U.S. made hinges?
Right.
And so we went back through thinking, man, it's gonna be a lot more expensive. And come to find out that they weren't much more money at all. They had a higher rating as far as a load rating.
Yeah.
And they're made right here in the U.S. So it was a simple decision for us in that matter to do that. So we're doing our best right now to buy everything U.S. made. All of our steel's made in the U.S. So, sometimes we get some stuff from Canada. We don't have complete control over that, but 99% of it's made right here in the U.S. And so there's definitely a certain level of pride with that, and I talk about it a lot, that I think that, my grandfather's generation was very proud of that, because they were the World War II
right.
generation,
yeah.
right? And their parents were the World War I generation, and so they fought. And they had brothers and sisters and family members that died fighting for the freedom we have today in this country to do what we're doing right here
right.
in this podcast.
Right.
And to have this business and this opportunity to be in sales or to be in marketing or whatever the case might be, there were people that gave their lives for that. And
yeah.
so when I was a younger kid, there was much more pride about that American flag and that product being made in the U.S. than there is today. Although I will tell you that now there seems to be more of a movement in the direction that people are very proud to have things that are made in the U.S.
Right. Yeah.
And I'll tell you just a real life experience the other day. My wife and I were looking at lawn furniture for our backyard, and I said, I'm not going to buy that if it's not made here in the U.S. So go try to buy lawn furniture right now that's made in the United States. And so we did some web searching, and we actually found a company in New Jersey that makes beautiful lawn furniture that's made right here in the U.S. And so I probably paid 20% more for it, but I'm happy to know that it was by American workers, by an American-owned company, and that just made me feel better.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's all personal preference, but being as we're a manufacturer here, we know what it takes. We know that the blood, sweat, and effort that's put into this every day. And so I feel hypocritical if I'm not supporting other U.S. manufacturers.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot of the people here feel the same way. We've heard a lot of those same sentiments today on the podcast. And just thanks for giving us a minute of your time.
Yeah, you bet.
To give us your heart. And
I'll tell you one other thing too, though,
Sure.
that I think is just as important is that we're also looking at the fact that it's not just American made, but American owned, right?
Right.
Because a lot of the companies right now are coming in from overseas. They're setting up manufacturing in the United States, which is good. We're glad to have them. But all of that money goes back to overseas.
Yeah.
And so, we're trying really hard right now to build our economy. All of us are. We're all in it together. We want a better economy. We want a better life. And so if you really want that, then I encourage everybody to try to buy U.S. made. Good luck buying your clothing made in the United States. It may look a little different than some of the styles you like or the brands you like, but try.
Right.
I mean, if you can. And again, nothing against other countries. We wish them the best, and we want to help them too, and support them. But I know for them, it would help them as well to strengthen their own economy by building within their own economy. So,
right.
So, again, I'm glad you guys are talking about it. I heard we're interviewing some folks. I think also I'd like to share another quick story about kind of some of the patriotism that I've been seeing here lately. We currently are putting a project through the plant that is going to the Marine Corps base in not Iwo Jima, in Okinawa.
Yeah.
Okinawa, yeah. So, but anyways, I had kind of heard that we were putting this project through, but I didn't really. I kind of forgot about it because it was probably a month or so later, and then I was walking through the plant. And one of the welders came up to me and he said, "Hey, he said that collector that's going to Okinawa." He said, "My father was based in Okinawa." And I said, "Oh, really? For military?" And he said, "Yeah, World War II." I said, "Okay."
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Man, it just brings back a lot of memories, And he was building the structure for it.
Right.
And I said, "Oh, that's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that with me." And so I kind of moved on. And the next day, I'm standing out in the plant. I'm in that same general area, and he comes over to me. He says, "Do you have a minute?" I said, "Sure." And he literally had probably 30 photographs with him.
Oh man.
Big portrait of his father, and all these stories. And they were real newspapers from Okinawa that were like, and I didn't read them all, but they were actual, like, I'm going to get the dates wrong.
But from during that time frame.
It was like 40. 46, 45. I can't remember the exact dates.
That sounds about right.
I'll double check myself. But anyways, he was so proud of those photos and saying, that this thing's going to go to the same area where my dad was. Now, at the time, I don't think that the Marine Corps base existed probably, at that time. But a lot of our U.S. Troops were over there.
Right.
And so, later the welders were saying, "Man, this thing's going to the Marine Corps base in Okinawa," and so the enthusiasm and the patriotism just has been shining through the whole plant right now.
Right.
And sales and everywhere, even up in accounting, they're talking about it. So I don't know. I don't plant this stuff. It just kind of comes up. That's a true feeling that we have as Americans. We're very proud of that. But anyway, so I'll finish that story. But so he comes to me. He's showing me pictures of his dad and all he did. And I said, how's your father doing now? How old is he? He said, he passed away. He said, I was 17 years old. So the man fought through World War II. He started to raise a family, and in his letters you could see where it was talking about the kiddos and stuff. And then he came home, and when Lemoine was 17 years old, his dad was in the backyard cutting a tree down. The tree fell and killed his dad. And so he never really got to know his dad, but the emotion, how choked up he got was so authentic and so real that it just like, it hit me, And I just told him, I said, "Dude, I mean, I said, just thanks for sharing that story with me, and I wanted to document it. So I actually took some photos of Lemoine and his love for his dad. I mean, he, 2/3 of his life, he probably doesn't even really remember exactly what his dad was like, except faint memories of him, but he still just absolutely loves him.
Right.
And, but I just reassured him. I said, you'll be with your dad someday again in heaven, and just, you're a blessed man for doing that. And thank you for letting me in on that part of your story. So that's patriotism, and that's why we're proud of American made. So,
yeah. So, that's a lot of stuff.
I know. You didn't ask for all that. But
no, it's great. It's great because it goes beyond just the pieces of steel that we're welding together here,
Right.
and it shows that our community and our kind of our family of Imperial Systems and how we work together, not just to build our economy and build a great product, but how we try to take care of each other here in the plant, and really how there's a lot more that goes into it than just a product. So it's a great story. Thanks for sharing that.
You bet.
It really helps us, and I think that really does talk a lot about what it means to be made in America and made by your neighbors, and made by people who share those stories and understand the sacrifices that we made, that our grandparents and those before us made to allow us to have this opportunity.
And some are still making today.
They still are.
So.
Well, hey, thanks for joining us on the Dusty Jobs podcast. We really hope that you'll join us on the next one. And for now, be safe, and God bless America.
Thank you very much, Donovan. All right, buddy.
Thanks for listening to the Dusty Jobs podcast. Breathe better, work safer.